Welcome everyone. Today we are responding to a video by Shahriq Khan titled, "From Islam to Christ My Testimony, What They Don't Want You to Hear." In this video, Shahriq Khan claims that while he was a Muslim, he almost ended his life.
Growing up Muslim to almost ending my life.
Now pause right there. The question we must ask is very simple. How did he almost end his life? By his own words, it was through cocaine, molly, alcohol, partying, and immoral relationships.
Pain and molly and alcohol and partying and women.
So now we ask the real question, who is to blame here, Islam or Shahriq Khan himself? Because Islam does not teach cocaine. Islam does not teach alcohol. Islam does not teach sexual immorality. In fact, Islam clearly forbids all of this. Allah says in Qur'an 219, in intoxicants and gambling there is great sin and some benefit for people, but the sin is greater than the benefit. Allah says again in Qur'an 590, intoxicants, gambling, stone altars, and divining arrows are filth from the work of Satan, so avoid them, that you may be successful. So did Shahriq Khan follow Islam?
And alcohol and
No, he violated it. Allah says in Qur'an 79:40-41, whoever feared standing before his Lord and restrained himself from desire, paradise will be his refuge. Allah says in Qur'an 17:32, do not even go near adultery. It is a shameful deed and an evil path. Did Shahriq Khan restrain himself?
and women.
No. So when he says Islam failed me, that is simply false. Islam didn't fail him, he failed Islam. Then Shahriq Khan says he challenged Islam and found contradictions, excuses, and phrases like context matters.
Myself, if Islam is a truth, it should be able to stand up to any question that I throw at it. And so I threw every question I had. But what came back were loose threads, contradictions, and excuses wrapped up in the word context.
But here's the key question he avoids. Did he study the Qur'an seriously? Did he study the Sunnah properly? Did he ask qualified scholars? No. He admits that he learned Islam by asking people, watching YouTube clips, and spending hours with hardcore Christian apologists, letting them guide his comparison between the Qur'an and the Bible.
I dove into apologetics, hardcore. Not just YouTube clips, I'm talking hours, every single night, years of studying, comparing Islam and Christianity side by side.
That means he did not leave Islam based on knowledge. He left Islam based on what apologists told him. And that matters. He then claims that the deeper he looked, the more convinced he became that the crucifixion happened.
The deeper I looked, the more I saw this one truth, that the crucifixion happened, period. It's a historical fact confirmed by Christian, atheist, secular historians alike, and that the Quran didn't say it happened. And that's a fatal, fatal problem.
Not because the Bible clearly proves it, but because historians say so. So notice this carefully. He believes in the crucifixion based on people's opinions, not on clear, consistent biblical evidence. And even after years of comparing the Qur'an and the Bible, he admits without realizing it that the Bible itself failed to convince him, because it is confused and contradictory on this issue.
Problem 1. Contradiction among witnesses. All four were there, yet they disagree. One says Jesus was willing, 3 say he wasn't. How can witnesses of the same life tell such opposite stories? Problem 2. Selective recording. Why did John record only what he claimed? Did Jesus confuse him? When with John he said one thing, but with Matthew, Mark, and Luke he said another. And John never recorded what the others saw. Why the selective reporting? Problem number 3. Conflicting last words. And it gets worse. Even the last words of Jesus on the cross don't match. John, it is finished. John, 19:30. Mark, my God, why have you forsaken me? Mark, 15:34. Luke, praying for forgiveness for those crucifying him. Luke, 23:34. All witnesses, all disciples, all giving us completely different endings. How can anyone claim to know the truth? Problem 4. If Jesus was willing. Now, imagine he was truly willing. Why was he mocked, flogged, insulted, forced to carry his cross, and even defending himself? If he willingly went to his death, none of this makes sense. Problem 5. If Jesus was not willing. But if he wasn't willing, it explains everything. He was innocent, oppressed, abused, forced into a brutal death against his will. The suffering, the insults, the fear, the prayers in the garden. It all fits. So ask yourself, did Jesus truly die willingly on the cross, or was he forced? Can we trust Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Were they reliable witnesses? Or has history misled us? The truth isn't always what we're taught. Sometimes, the greatest mysteries hide in plain sight, right in the words we think we can trust. And in this case, those words leave us questioning. Did Jesus really choose the cross? Or was he a victim of history? Now I want to hear from you. Which account do you believe? And why? Comment below. Dive into the verses yourself and see if you can uncover the truth.
Now let's address the double standards.
And then I started looking at Muhammad's life, not what I was told, but what's actually in the Hadiths. He led wars, took slaves, married a child, and he still didn't know if he'd make it to paradise.
He rejects Prophet Muhammad because he led wars, yet he accepts Jesus, who said in Matthew 10:34, "I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." He rejects Prophet Muhammad because of slavery, yet he accepts Abraham, who owns servants, as stated in Genesis 12:16. He rejects Prophet Muhammad based on the false claim of marrying a child, yet he never applies the same scrutiny to Isaac and Rebekah. This is not consistency. This is bias. Then he says Jesus healed the sick, forgave enemies, and knew his mission.
Compared that to Jesus, who healed the sick, forgave sins, who died for his enemies, and knew exactly where he was going.
But Prophet Muhammad healed the sick as well. In Sahih al-Bukhari, she narrates that the Prophet would place his hand on the sick and pray for complete healing. When the Prophet conquered Mecca and his enemies stood powerless before him, he said to them what Prophet Joseph said to his brothers, "No blame upon you today. May Allah forgive you, that is mercy, that is forgiveness." So when Shahriq Khan says he studied the life of Prophet Muhammad, the reality is clear. He studied YouTube clips, not the seerah. Finally, and this is critical, Shahriq Khan says he prayed to Allah, woke up with powerful words, and concluded that it was Jesus.
And I didn't even pray to Jesus, I prayed to Allah. And I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Please help me. And the next morning I heard 3 words that changed everything. Get up and go. And it hit me like thunder in my soul. It wasn't a thought, it was a command. And I knew it wasn't from me. I knew it wasn't from this mind that had been failing me for so long. I woke up with a fire in my chest and a light in my eyes and this overwhelming peace that said, you are mine and I love you and you are not alone. And I didn't know at the time, but that was Jesus.
Think about that. He prayed to Allah. Allah responded. Yet he gave the credit to someone else. That is not revelation. That is confusion. Islam did not fail Shahriq Khan. Islam warned him. He ignored it. If you found this video beneficial, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, peace be upon you, and see you again if Allah wills.